Chapter 8, Section 3. Reinforcement and punishment. Superstition, the false belief that a particular behavior will bring about a stimulus or event. Reinforcements, stimuli that make a behavior more likely to recur. Punishments, make the behavior less likely to occur. Positive reinforcement, the addition of a stimulus following a behavior, increasing the likelihood of that behavior, example, a treat or a food. Negative reinforcement happens when a behavior is followed by the removal of an aversive stimulus, like getting away from a shock or loud noise. Positive punishment, the addition of a stimulus following a response, decreasing the likelihood of that behavior, such as a spanking. Negative punishment, the removal of a stimulus following a response, decreasing the likelihood of that behavior, such as grounding. Active avoidance. Escape conditioning, a form of negative reinforcement in which the subject learns to perform a response to remove an aversive stimulus. Active avoidance, a response the subject has learned to avoid an aversive stimulus. Passive avoidance, a response the subject has learned to refrain from displaying to avoid an aversive stimulus. Learned helplessness, a type of learning in which the subject learns that an aversive stimulus cannot be avoided. Learned helplessness has been suggested as a model of humans who are clinically depressed, characterized by disinterest in being active and a lack of a belief that taking action will improve things. Pace of rewards. Reinforcement schedule. The rules determining the frequency in which an operant conditioning subject is reinforced. Continuous reinforcement schedule. The rewarding of a behavior every time it is displayed. Partial reinforcement schedule, or intermittent reinforcement schedule. The rewarding of a behavior only some of the time is displayed. Fixed ratio, a schedule in which every nth response is rewarded. Variable ratio, a schedule in which the number of responses required to obtain reward changes. Fixed interval, a schedule in which a reinforcement is provided for the first response after a fixed length of time since the last reinforcement. Variable interval, a schedule in which the reinforcement for the response is provided at some variable interval of time after the last response. Primary reinforcer, a stimulus that fills a biological need or that the subject already finds unpleasant. Secondary reinforcer, the stimulus that the subject comes to associate with one or more primary reinforcers, such as money. Observational learning. Cognitive map, an internal representation of the layout of an area. One part of the brain seems to keep careful track of where we are in space, which is consistent with a function as a cognitive map.